Hello BookTube, it's Ben here again from the History Fella channel. I thought in this video I'd do a tag which I found on the Bill Ruttenberg library on his channel, and it was in amongst his tags. Bill's quite prolific with the tags, so he's well worth a visit. Have a look at his tags. And that's after you've looked at all his books behind him on all his bookshelves, and he's got more. So anyway, this is I'll put a link to Bill Ruttenberg's video down below in the description, so please go along and see him as well. And this is called the Nosey Librarian Tag, and I've got all the questions here on my laptop, so if I'm looking down, that's I'm trying to read the questions. So question 1, what has been the most influential library in your life? I would have to say, other than the library where you're living at the time, I'd have to say it was my university library, because suddenly you were spending 3 years there, and because I studied history, it was always important to get to know the library and where your favourite departments were. And it was just a huge library. I remember it was on about 3 or 4 floors. There was even a photocopy room, so if you couldn't take all the books you wanted, you could at least photocopy the chapters you needed. And to be honest, having a library was like having your own heaven. Question 2. Honest assessment, what will they title your biography? If I had a biography, it would probably be, he worked hard, he tried hard, and he wasn't a problem to anyone. Something like that, I think. 3. The story from your life you hope your librarian never finds out about. I can't think of anything bad that I've done. I remember once as a school kid, the book, what was it called? There was a famous book written by Salman Rushdie, sort of in the 90s, and it was very controversial. And in the school library, you could order books that you wanted to read. And for a joke with my mates, I ordered this Salman Rushdie book, and the librarian came over and asked me if I was being serious and did I really want this book ordering for me to read. And of course, because I was with my mates, I said, oh yeah, no, I was really interested in reading this new Salman Rushdie book. And I think in the end, though, I didn't go back to the library for about 3 or 4 weeks because I had really no interest in reading the book and didn't want to get into trouble either. What is your favourite word? If you're into your comedies and you're a fan of the Blackadder series on BBC, there's one of the episodes where the Prince Regent is being seen by Dr. Johnson, who's writing the dictionary, and he says he's written all the words he can think of in this great big book that's going to be called the dictionary. And of course, Blackadder thinks, oh, has he really written all the words that are available? And then during the oncoming conversation, he then starts spouting these really long words just to embarrass him. And for example, you know, he's got interphrastically, pericombobulations, contrafibularities, phrasmotic, and it's just an amazing array of words that clearly this Dr. Johnson hasn't thought of and hasn't put in his book. But I'll leave a link to that video below this one. Number 5. 3 weird things you're afraid of, and a way you'd prefer not to die. 3 weird things you're afraid of. The sea. I don't like sailing whatsoever. It's a big wet thing. Why would I want to go on it and drown? I'm not very good at heights, and although I'm better these days, I'm still not keen on spiders. Spiders seem very large and very scary, even though in my head I know they're not. A way you'd prefer not to die. Being crushed probably, or in a tight space somewhere, because I'm very claustrophobic as well, so no, I wouldn't like that. Your favourite book as a grade schooler, which I'm presuming grade school over in America would be like high school, so it would again be Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee by D. Brown. That's the book that got me into history, and I read that numerous times and fully enjoyed it. Number 7. What have your interactions with the police been like? Quite good, really, as I haven't done anything wrong ever, I don't think. But I run a youth group every week called Navigators, or Fishguard Navigators, and we often get the police come in and out. They do a presentation or a chat with the kids. It's for 8 to 15-year-olds, so I mean they talk all about safety, how kids can look after themselves, how they need to behave, drugs, smoking, you name it. But the local policeman around here is very good. He's very good with the kids. Everyone knows him, everyone likes him. He's just great fun and really an asset to the police force. Number 8, all-time favourite book cover. I can't think of one because I read so many books, and so there are so many book covers I can think of. But I'm going to say The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. One, because I hate reading fiction, but I managed to read this book when I was about 14 and thoroughly enjoyed it. And on that cover there was like an image of space or something to do with space, but the title of the book was all written in like a luminous pink, and that's probably what attracted me to the book in the first place. How many places have you lived? Well, my wife and I have moved around quite a bit, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We've moved around 4 or 5 times, and then as a kid my dad was in the RAF, so we never lived anywhere more than 3 years. So we're probably looking at about 15, 16 different places altogether, varying from around the UK, England, Scotland, Wales, and then on one of my dad's tours he was stationed out in Cyprus, so we went to live there for 3 years. 3 years of lovely hot weather and lots of sport. Tag 5 booktubers you like and admire. Right, I've written a list. Peg at the History Shelf is a fantastic reviewer. I think she's brilliant. Love all the books she reads, and she seems to be into history most of the time, like I am. Bill at the Bill Ruttenberg Library is an excellent talker, an excellent speaker, and he's clearly excellent at reading because he's got a ton of books to read. And I would like his book collection if you could send that over to me. Sean at Sean D. Standfast. He's here in the UK, but I think obviously he comes from another country. But he's just really interesting. He's kind of like an older gentleman who seems to have done a lot with his life and loves to talk about his books and his collections, and he's really interesting to listen to. Erica, number 4, Erica at the Passage of Time channel is very good. She's into history as well. I just find her reviews are interesting. She's well informed, and her videos are enjoyable. And finally, Steve Donahue, and who wouldn't like Steve? He clearly has the library of some US state in his house. He's got so many books to read, and he's well up on anything and everything. If it's been written down, Steve's probably read it. Anyway, that's the last question. I shall put the questions down below in the description. If anyone else would like to do the tag, then you're more than welcome to. And that's it from me. If you'd like to contact me, you can at Twitter or Instagram at The History Fella. Please feel free to like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on the next video I do.